Gosh. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. So today we're going to be comparing two of the most popular foundations out there, NARS Sheer Glow and NARS Natural Radiant. I know I enjoy these foundations, but it's going to be interesting doing them side by side and seeing an actual comparison, and hopefully this will help you decide if you're stuck between purchasing one or the other, because they are expensive and you want to know which one's most likely going to work with your skin type or your preferences. I'm just going to put it out here now before we start. Lighting is horrendous. It's so dark behind me because it is so dark outside. It is so foggy. It is literally 2 p.m. and it looks like it's the middle of the night, but what can you do? It's December, so just bear with me on the lighting. But yeah, let's just jump straight into it. We should just jump into this by me putting it onto my face, and then we can talk about it as we apply. Just for reference, I have both foundations in the shade Gobi Light 3. I think that sort of shade is pretty consistent across the two foundations. You know, sometimes foundation shades differ across a brand, even when it's got the same name. I think this is pretty consistent, and they do have a really good shade range, the NARS foundations. Straight off the bat, you've got to give it to the Natural Radiant because they put a pump on it. Now you can buy a pump separately for Sheer Glow, but then the lid wouldn't fit on, so it's a bit frustrating. They really need to change that. I think it would be a great addition to just get a pump. It'll make it so much easier and mess free. To apply these foundations, I'm going to use my Coco Cosmetics Marshmallow Sponge in shape 2. I like to use this big flat edge. It just blends your foundation so well. I think I'm going to do Sheer Glow this side and Natural Radiant this side. At the moment, I have quite an equal amount of like scarring on both sides so we can see the coverage. I'm going to struggle to measure that I'm putting an equal amount of foundation on each side as Sheer Glow doesn't have a pump. So I'm just going to sort of do that. I think, is that about a pump? Yeah, let's just go with that. Okay, so this is Sheer Glow. And I'm just going to do what I normally do. I just dot it over my whole face. This is a really good shade match for me as well. That's why I love it so much. It's really hard to sort of go straight down the middle. Okay, so that blended out really easily. If we compare this side of my face to the naked side, they market Sheer Glow as a sheer foundation, but I really don't think so. It covers way too much to be sheer. It definitely is buildable to a medium. You can really thin it out and get a lighter coverage, but you can build this to a medium. And it was really easy to blend, and it definitely gives you that slight glow. Can you see that on my skin? Yeah, I'm gonna do a teensy bit more, just literally not a lot, and just layer it on top so we can build it a little bit, because it is a foundation that builds really well. So I think if you are someone that likes a lighter coverage foundation, also you may like a fuller coverage every now and then, this could work for you because it is flexible in that way. But yeah, so you can still see some scarring that is very easily covered by some concealer, but I'm actually not fussed. I think it is smoothed on really nicely. I feel like it's not accentuated any dry patches. I think it just looks nice and smooth and even. I'm just going to stamp off as much product as possible. I think most of it is just discoloration now. One thing I have noticed with the Natural Radiant, and I don't know if I should have a 40 pump, so I'll be interested if the same happens for you, but one pump is like half a pump of a normal foundation. I guess it allows you some more control, but that's just something to note. So I've done 2 of my little pumps. If it's just me, then it's a 1 full pump. And I'm just gonna apply it the same way I applied the Sheer Glow. I just dotted it all over my face and blend out. Also, I have not prepped my face with any primer for either side. I have just done my normal skincare and moisturizer. Natural Radiant is definitely on the thicker side, but I don't think that alters the blending at all. It still blends out so seamlessly, and it definitely has more coverage. Like straight off the bat, it just looks a little bit thicker and a little bit heavier than the Sheer Glow. I feel like you can actually see that in the camera. It just looks a bit more mask-like, but then it looks much more flawless. So once again, that is something, it is your preference. It's not a pro or con. It's what sort of look you prefer. And to be honest, I love both, but for different occasions. Like this side looks flawless. I could very easily go without building up any more on top. And if I just zoom you in a bit, you can see it does look really flawless. Whereas I think there is still some discoloration showing through this side. Whereas I am definitely all just one color on the Natural Radiant side. Let's get up close. One thing I would note is the Natural Radiant side does look heavier around my eyes. I would then recommend, if you care about that, then don't put the foundation around your eyes. That's something very easily avoided. avoided, but it looks very smooth on my skin. It's really hard to explain, but it does just look thicker, but I wouldn't say it looks cakey or heavy. It just looks like a little bit more product. Overall, this side, it definitely has a bit more of a glow than this side. Let me touch them actually. Weirdly enough, I don't think you can see, Sheer Glow actually isn't transferring onto my hands. I don't know if that's just because I've had it on for longer, so that's something to note, but Natural Radiant, I am getting some transfer. So I might let it just sit for a bit longer so it's a bit more of a fair test, but that would make sense as I have been saying it's on the thicker side, it looks like more product. It wouldn't sort of settle onto your skin as well. At this stage, overall my takeaways are Sheer Glow isn't sheer, but it is of a lighter coverage than Natural Radiant. As you can see more of my skin color underneath than Natural Radiant, which looks more mask-like. Sheer Glow has definitely got a slight glow to it, but it isn't so luminous in the way when it sort of feels wet on your face. It is just more a satin glow, whereas Natural Radiant, I think there is a nice sort of health look, but it is a natural sort of towards the matte side. But I do get transfer even when I didn't use a lot of product, I'd say. And it's just slightly heavier looking, but it looks a lot more flawless. So if you do like a heavier foundation, something that's a bit more heavy duty, that will be more your vibe over Sheer Glow. I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup and I'll be back to show you how they look with a finished face. Okay, and we're back, and I did very minimal makeup. I've only put concealer around my eyes, and that's pretty much where I've powdered, along with a tiny bit in the T-zone. And I haven't put any highlighter on, just so we can see the actual glow that sort of comes from the foundation. And I also haven't used any setting spray, so we can also see how that wears. But yeah, let's do one final close-up. So this is the Sheer Glow side. It is looking very smooth, very nice and natural, just quite healthy looking. And I do think the shine's actually toned down a bit. And then we have the Natural Radiant side. Definitely looks on the heavier side, but it is higher coverage. That was one thing I noticed. Both of them I had no problems with applying other products on top of. Everything sort of blended really easily, and the pigment was the same, I would say, so I didn't have any problems with that. It'll be interesting to see how it wears though. I'm going to leave this here and I'm going to check in later to show you how it is worn after a few hours of wear, whether the Natural Radiant side has held up more, as it does have Longwear in the name. Has Sheer Glow got glowier, or is it maintained? It'll just be interesting to see how it looks. So I'll catch you in a few hours. Hello everybody, we are now 8 hours into the wear of this foundation. I can't lie, both of them I look really shiny. I'm not sure what it is, but I look really shiny. It looks healthy, I'll give you that, but I am very shiny, and I'm not normally an oily person, so that's a bit interesting. But one thing I can tell you after this wear is I definitely have a favourite of the two. I much prefer how Sheer Glow has worn over Natural Radiant. I'm going to try and capture this. The lighting's a bit dodgy. Maybe if I bring it down a tiny bit. If we sort of focus in this area, this side is Sheer Glow. It's definitely shiny, and definitely really around my nose it's shiny. If you look at this side, I hope you can see it. It's really broken up on the Natural Radiant side on this area. Can you see that in comparison to Sheer Glow, which is held up quite well? It looks really bad, to be honest. So I don't know if that's because I haven't set with very much powder, which could explain why I'm really shiny. And I didn't use setting spray. There is a dramatic difference between the two in that area. And I would just say the Natural Radiant just looks heavier. That is the most notable difference for me, is that it is broken up on my chin, whereas Sheer Glow didn't. The rest of my face looks pretty even when I look at the two sides, but I don't know what this chin could be. I think it is just the foundation, because I haven't been leaning on it, and it's also like up here as well a little bit. I'm gonna give you one final look at that. So Sheer Glow and Natural Radiant. But yeah, this is the conclusion of my review. If you did enjoy, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe for future videos, and also check out my Instagram at Time to Put My Face On if you like short product reviews. But yeah, I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye.